Hello and thank you for joining us here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange for this week's MacDesk Floor Report. I'm Rebecca Darst from the NYSE Market Access Center, bringing you the latest market action from the trading floor as we do every Thursday. We are floating higher today, March 14th, as the S&P looks to make it 10 straight sessions of gains and the latest in a string of all-time highs. Not surprisingly, this has the VIX, that would be the volatility index, which reflects the market's outlook for volatility over the next month across the entire S&P, setting a new 52-week low at 11.54. Bear in mind, however, that we are trading in advance of a quadruple witching expiration tomorrow, which may bring an opportunity for a little volatility as traders pair and adjust positions. We are also expecting a second round of bank stress test results out after the bell, and there's been some positioning in individual financial sector names in anticipation of those results. Taking a look at the global action overnight, Asian stocks closed mostly lower, with rate decisions from central banks of New Zealand and South Korea coming in exactly as market participants expected, that is to say with no changes in benchmark lending rates. Jobless numbers out of Australia came in a little better than expected. European stocks closed near 5-year highs on the eve of a 2-day summit of European leaders in Brussels, and helped along by a draft statement from EU leaders to the effect that they may give countries on the southern periphery of the Eurozone additional time to bring their deficits into line. Here in the U.S., stock futures got a boost from a very moderate read on weekly jobless claims. Initial claims printed at 332,000. That's 10K below last week's read and a third straight week below 350,000. Let's take a look at the data points likely to move next week's market. On Monday, March 18th, we've got January trade balance data from the Eurozone and Italy separately, along with January international securities trade data from Canada. Here in the U.S., the March NAHB Housing Market Index will be released. Tuesday, March 19th, brings a January composite index of business cycle indicators from Japan, along with department store sales. The UK will release February CPI and PPI data, along with the retail price index. The Eurozone's widely followed ZEW sentiment survey from March will be released, along with Canada's January manufacturing sales and February housing starts and building permits here in the U.S. We got a couple of earnings reports to watch from Williams-Sonoma and Adobe. Wednesday brings February producer price data from Germany, minutes from the Bank of England's last meeting, as well as February UK jobless claims and average weekly earnings. Eurozone composite data includes the March consumer confidence number. Come 2 p.m., we've got a rate decision from the FOMC here in the U.S. Earnings on the tape that day will include General Mills, Lennar, Federal Express, Oracle, Tumi, and Guess. Thursday, March 21st, brings the release of February merchandise trade balance and import, export, and supermarket sales data from Japan. The European session will see the release of several March PMI readings. Out of the UK, we've got February retail sales and public finances, and the Chancellor of the Exchequer, George Osborne, will present the government's 2013 budget before Parliament. Canada will release January retail sales, and here in the U.S., we'll be looking at the usual Thursday jobless claims, as well as February existing home sales and the preliminary read on March PMI. We'll also have earnings from KB Homes, Nike, Discover, and ConAgra. Friday, March 22nd, will bring the final read on Q4 wages from France, as well as a production outlook indicator for the month of March. Germany will release its March IFO survey of the current and expected business climate. The U.S. Fed will release its revisions to industrial production data, and we'll have earnings from Tiffany and Darden restaurants. Bear in mind that Carnival Corp, which had been expected to report on March 22nd, will report ahead of the bell tomorrow. That's March 15th. We'll be following all the action as it happens here on the trading floor. Until next week, I'm Rebecca Darst for the MacDesk Floor Report.